It is a beautiful day this morning in Canberra, the bush capital as it's known. Parliament is just a few hundred meters over in that direction, and it feels like you're in the bush, surrounded by trees. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, I love living here. Speaking of trees, biShvat, 15th day of the month of Shabbat. It's an appropriate day to think of all these trees, very beautiful things. Not many fruit trees, not a lot of native fruit trees here. But, it's what it is. But does it make a difference? The answer is yes, actually. biShvat is misunderstood. A lot of people call it the birthday of the trees, which makes no sense, really. Some people call it New Year for the trees. Okay, but what does that mean? There are agricultural laws tied mostly to the state of Israel, but also elsewhere. And some of those relate to different types of crops, tithing and the like. You have to give a certain bit to the Kohen, the priest, and then you have to give a certain bit to the tribe of Levi, and then, it's sort of like a taxation system to support those who work for a colonial good. Well, that's great. What does it have to do with trees? What does it have to do with the 15th of Shabbat? Well, one of the rules is that you have to tithe each year's produce on its own year's produce. In other words, if you have 90 bushels from this year and 110 bushels from next year, you can't throw them all together, pull out 20 bushels and say, there you go, that's a tenth. You have to take 9 bushels out of the 90 and 11 out of the 110. That's the rule. They have to be separated. Well, what is called this year and what is called next year? We don't just look on the calendar. There are actually different rules for different crops. And biShvat is one of those new years. Any fruit that grew before the 15th of Shabbat belongs to one year. Any fruit that grows from the 15th of Shabbat and onwards belongs to the next year. It's quite literally that simple. It's last year and this year. So it's not actually the new year for trees. It's the new year for fruit that grows on trees. Now, in modern times, people celebrate it, modern being the last 500 years or so, Kabbalistic basis and what have you, by eating fruits, and there's sometimes a whole seder to it. Okay, fine, not necessary. Maybe a nice custom, remind you of how things were in ancient times when we used to do tithing and the like in an agrarian society in the land of Israel. Okay, that's wonderful. However, in modern times, since just before the creation of the state of Israel, mandatory Palestine, or even slightly before Turkish Palestine, Ottoman Palestine, there was a movement to reclaim the land of Israel. Jews started moving up to the land of Israel in great numbers. Many Ashkenazi moved to join the Sephardim who were already living there. As a whole focus on agriculture, building up this country. In a sense, it became a celebration of nature. Some people refer to biShvat as Jewish Arbor Day. Maybe that's not a sexual purpose originally, but I will say this: if it brings awareness to environmental issues, of which there are many in the modern world, then I say go for it. Just remember, that's not its primary purpose. It's a modern innovation, and that's fine, as long as you recognize that this is not what the day actually is. It's important to know what things actually mean. And if you wish to give them extra meaning, that's fine. If it means something to you, good. But we always have to remember our roots. All the best, everyone.